Well, a very good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester.
Oh, and have we got a treat in store for you tonight? Because in the house, we have got a plethora of guests, starting with Channel 4's Naked Beach star, Jay Sky.
And we've also got in the studio with us today, the legend of holidays. It is, of course, our Gary Manners.
Oh, we could all do with a bit of sun, and something else we could all do with, and that's a little dose of titters.
You're all right. Nice to see you. And then also, over on the couch today, we're going to be talking about something very important with Dr Laura Seddon and Aaron. And, good news, back for 2020, the first time of 2020, the one and only Hayley.
Oh, our little ray of sunshine. I think she's got a bit of cold feet tonight, though.
Oh, very good indeed. So stick around, we've got a fantastic episode lined up for you here, only on
Your Manchester. Guest could be announced as a bit of a pop star, a presenter, a TV personality, or just an amazing fashionista. But we like to call him Manchester's born and bred Jay Sky. You are in the house.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm loving the show already.
Are you having fun?
Yeah,
it's a nightmare, isn't it? It's all good fun though.
Yeah.
What are you up to right now, Jay Sky?
Well, at the moment, I am the correspondent for BBC Radio Manchester. I'm the showbiz reporter. So once a Wednesday, I'm on air with the lovely Chelsea, and I get to talk about everything showbiz related and what's going on in Manchester. And outside of that, I'm still promoting my single "Keep Your Love On," which is a feel-good house record.
It's very good.
Do you like it?
I like it, yeah.
Oh,
even I like it at this age, so it must be good.
Oh, thank
now,
you
you
very
say
much.
you talk showbiz, but you are quite showbiz yourself, because we saw you recently on Channel 4 on Naked Beach. In fact, we saw quite a lot of you.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen Naked Beach before, explain the premise.
So Naked Beach is a phenomenal experiment / TV project where we have 8 hosts. I'm one of the 8, and our mission is to make people learn to accept their bodies no matter what their shape or size. And we have 3 guests with us each episode, and we take them on a journey to self-acceptance and self-love. Yeah.
And as the title suggests, you're naked.
Yes, it was liberating, I'll be honest with you. I mean, after the show, I do walk around the house a lot more naked, I'm not going to lie. And before it, I didn't really view nudity in the same light I do now. At the start of the episode, we do start off covered up with beautiful body paint, and then by the last day with the guests, we are completely naked on Naked Beach. So the host as well as the guests do go on a bit of a journey, and it's just been a completely mind-blowing experience, yeah.
Wow.
It sounds proper good,
people
doesn't it?
don't always want to say what they've seen, because people that know me are like, yeah, we saw your programme, but they don't want to say that they saw me naked. And I'm like, it's fine, it's okay, I'm not ashamed of it.
Gosh, yeah, and fingers crossed in the next series, they'll have to get you singing then. So have you been singing all your life then, or is this fairly new?
When I was really young, like 4 or 5, I used to write poems. Eventually when I got to 6 or 7, they started to get published, and then I wanted to do songwriting, but I realised that if I want to sing, teach someone how to sing a song, I need to sing myself.
And where did the love of fashion come from?
Gosh,
every
fashion
time we
is
see
crazy.
you, you're immaculately dressed in something mega creative.
See, that's what I think about you. But for me, it's just, I think I like attention. I feel like maybe in other areas of my life, I'm not as visible as I'd like to be. So if there's an excuse to dress up, I'll do it, yeah.
I love the fact that, like Jay Sky said, oh, you know, I appreciate your fashion. You didn't say that about me, did you?
That goes without saying, Michelle. You're always on a red carpet, glam all the time. I saw you in a leather jacket the other day. I thought that's a bit of me. So I noticed these things too.
Yeah, I can't get leather jackets to fit. I wear a body bag, it's easy. It is. So very quickly, what's next for you?
I've just launched a podcast series. The first episode is with Andy Burnham, Mayor of Manchester.
Why not? Anyway, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And download his track. It's very good.
Something else that you should be looking out for right now is the marvellous musical that's coming to us. Are you excited?
Yes.
It's coming your way very soon. And for more information about the musical The Phantom of the Opera, check out this.
Exciting.
Now then, we are, of course, in the new year, and every time we get into the new year, I don't know if you're like me, you start thinking about holidays. And we start thinking about holidays, and so we have brought in the wonderful Gary Manners from the Travel Counsellors, everybody, to tell us about early year holidays. Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me over again, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And of course, January is the time when we all start thinking about holidays. So I've got the wonderful job of sorting your holidays. And really today, I'd like to talk to you about the early season holidays. So the winter sunshine, maybe at the moment. So the Canaries, Barbados, the Caribbean. I bought 3 different brochures in to show you. One is about the cruises, one about exploring distant shores, so maybe the Maldives or Mauritius for winter sunshine, and then for families, because families love the summer sunshine.
And yet that's the one thing I avoid when I go on holiday.
Well, let's talk about then the cruise ship first, because kind of having a bit of a resurgence and becoming a bit cooler than they used to be, cruises, yeah?
Yeah, of course now you can do the all-inclusive cruises, family-friendly cruises with the flumes and the surf riders and the rock climbing walls, so ideal for families and couples. Absolutely brilliant at the moment, cruises. And great value as well.
I was going to say, should you be booking early to try and get some of these deals at cruises?
Definitely. Royal Caribbean at the moment are doing buy one, get one at 60%. So there's some really good
So they're not as expensive as people might think.
Definitely not, no.
So I think a lot of people are put off by the fact that they think it's too expensive.
And I think they think that it's just for older people, and as you just said, you know, cruises for all types, yeah?
Families, special interest tours, you get lectures, you've got the entertainment, West End style shows, and of course you can eat till you drop.
And you can also kind of go to sleep and wake up somewhere completely different, so you can open kind of your windows and go, oh, I'm in Venice
See 5
today.
or 6 different destinations in one trip.
Wow.
So fantastic opportunity.
Brilliant. What about then some of the hotter places? You talked about like Mauritius.
Yeah, so Mauritius and the Maldives are really great sellers at the moment. Ideal for wedding couples, people planning weddings, and interesting touring holidays as well.
It's quite far though, isn't it? And quite difficult to get to kind of these Maldives, isn't it? Seaplanes and involve all
We
that
fly
kind
into Mali and then you've got the seaplane or a speedboat.
Exciting though, isn't it?
It is, but I'm really impatient. It's kind of like, I want my flight, I want to get there. I don't even like the transfers that you have. You know, when you're stuck on one of those buses. But private transfers are getting more popular. People are booking those now, aren't they? Because they don't want to wait for other people getting the plane.
Definitely. And I sell, most of my packages will include private transfers. I think the ones we've done for you before, Michelle, it really, really does sell. And once you've done a private transfer and you picked up, and they turn up in this fantastic Mercedes with a little hat on, your name on a card at the airport, proper VIP
It's
service.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice,
VIP service all the way. So even more popular for families and for couples.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Where would you go if you had a family and you were looking for a destination then out of all those? Where would you be your top
All
spot?
of those, probably Florida would come to the top. But if you wanted somewhere closer to the home, I'd say probably Menorca, which is a brilliant little island.
And where would you go if you didn't have a family and you wanted to keep away from screaming children?
Definitely the Maldives, maybe Mauritius, Barbados, do an adults only.
There you go. That's your tick list. So
I like it. We'll adhere to it all.
we will.
Holidays galore. Thank you
Lots
so
of
much for your
ideas
time
for
today,
January
Gary.
though, so get booked in. It's the time to book now. So.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
That's Gary from Travel Counsellors. Let's go over and see our Hayley.
Hi, Hayley. Hello,
Hello.
love. Happy New Year and all that
New Year.
shizzle. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm all right. What have you brought us this week?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about 3 different things, but I wanted to start on Coronation Street, because I don't know if you've been watching it, but there's a really, really good storyline which I'd like to talk and bring to attention to you and to viewers. And that is about Yasmin and Jeff, and it is the Coercive Abuse storyline. Corrie have been doing so well because they've built it up slowly, as it happens in real life. And they've chosen Yasmin, as a character because she's a very strong character, because they want to show how you can really knock down someone's confidence and really take away who they are.
Because Jeff's been saying she's got a drink problem,
Yeah.
He's trying to take a bit of control,
That's
stop her
right.
seeing people.
Yeah.
Are we going to see it getting any better on screen?
I hope so soon. I hope so. I mean, obviously, some of her friends have started to question things. Her granddaughter started to question what Jeff's been saying as well. And I do want to say it's a lot of people that are affected by domestic violence and domestic abuse, isn't there? It's very common. And Women's Aid, how they describe this type of abuse is acts that will humiliate, put my teeth in, intimidate, punish, frighten or harm their victims until they become dependent on the abuser. That is coercive abuse. Women's aid number is 0808 2000 247. The men's advice line is 0808 801 0327. And the National LGBT Domestic Violence Helpline, because it does happen in same-sex relationships and a lot of people do forget that it happens, is 0800 999 5428.
Yeah. Now, I've got to say, you are wearing that scarf probably for a reason. We're talking about Doctor Who, aren't we?
We are. You know, it is series 12. Geordie has just come in and wham bam wallop, and she's there on our screens again. She's doing a fantastic job. Absolutely love it. We've had about 2 or 3
All
episodes
the
so
other
far.
episodes, by the way, are now on BBC iPlayer, so you can
Deal.
start from David Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston,
Right,
one of
and
my
catch right
faves.
back up, so you can
Yeah.
really go right into it.
Proper.
Yeah,
So
so
you can binge watch.
binge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Sunday afternoon binge, innit? Or even a Saturday night, actually.
I think
in
it'd
this
take
one.
more than just one night.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, without a doubt.
So what's happening now with Doctor Who then? When are we going to see another episode?
The next episode will be on Sunday
Yeah.
at 7 p.m. But obviously, it's all on catch up as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And quickly now, I'm going to talk about Cold Feet.
Yeah, Cold Feet. Cold Feet started. We've had 2 episodes. They're available on ITV Hub, of course, to catch up on. So we've got the next episode will be on next Monday. That will be the next Monday.
The only episode that we're bothered about is the one that you're in.
I'm in episode 4.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Oh, they're just such a lovely team to work with, though. They're brilliant.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, and
Thank
we'll
you.
catch up with you next week.
Yes.
Right then, let's go to our next piece with our lovely Titters. How are you, Titters?
I'm very, very well indeed. Happy New Year to everybody.
Welcome back as well and everything and all sorts.
Yes. It's about
What
time,
were
isn't
you
it?
talking about today?
Right, well, the other day I went along to a book launch, and it's for a book called Me, Myself and Bipolar Brenda.
Oh.
And it's been written by an actress called Natasha Ray.
No, we've got her in next week, haven't
We've
we?
got her in next week,
Lovely.
and lovely person, and she lives with bipolar.
Right.
And so she's basically got all the journals together
Yeah.
and put it together in a book. But last week was the launch,
Yeah.
so she had a little get together like you do.
Now, talking about somebody who's got a career like that in acting, you think automatically they're quite confident or they have no self-esteem issues, and for somebody to come out and say openly about bipolar, I imagine this is a massive thing for Natasha.
She stated one of the figures that something like 2% of the population suffer with bipolar. So in Manchester alone, there will be 10,000 people within Manchester.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I only just, to be quite honest, totally ignorant as usual, I thought it was just people on EastEnders, you know, sort of thing, because that's the only time I've ever seen or known of anybody with
And what was the
bipolar.
response like then at the book launch? Were people sharing their own experience? Were the people who
It
knew
was a mix,
Natasha?
yeah. Basically, it was people whose mental health had reached the poor mental health, but lived through it, come the other side, how they deal with it. Natasha, we started off with a little bit of a trailer, 4-minute trailer, which was quite entertaining, just introducing herself. Then she had a good chinwag, and then she read one of the chapters in the book, and it was funny, it was sad. She actually wrote the book while she was having the year from hell. The actual, what I got out of it most is that she's such a strong person that's in there. And I think what's the quote? Something like a calm person with a chaotic mind.
I love all stuff like that.
That sort of stuff, you know.
What are you bringing us next week or next time?
Well, next time I think I'm out on a mission, once again, with
Yes.
mindfulness this time.
Yes.
But mindfulness within acting.
Oh, how
And
fabulous.
hopefully go along, see if I can go on a taster
Yeah.
session and just see what it's like, really.
Speaking of which, let's pop over and talk to these lovely people.
Well, on Monday we see the Holocaust Memorial Day, and to tell us a little bit more about the day itself and what's going on around Greater Manchester. To join us in the studio, we have got Dr Laura Seddon and Aaron Fletcher. Welcome.
Welcome. So, first of all, let's fully explain, of course, to those that don't know, and if they don't know, they really want to go. What is the Holocaust and the Holocaust Memorial?
So Holocaust Memorial Day on the 27th of January every year is a chance for people around the country to come together and remember what happened in the Second World War. It's particularly important for Jewish institutions, so Manchester Jewish Museum where I work. It's just that moment of reflection and learning and understanding, I suppose, of that point in history.
And do we have some of the survivors around in Greater Manchester that come out for this day in particular, yeah?
Yeah, we do. But actually there are not that many of them left because they're all really elderly now. And so this is partly what we've been thinking about as a museum is how do we, when there are no survivors left, how do we continue to remember but also relieve that burden somehow? What could we do in a more creative way, I suppose, to instigate that kind of empathy for those stories?
What answers are you coming to with that then?
Well, so what we've decided to do this year is we've been running a music project for the last 6 months, a songwriting project, and we've been using the stories from our oral history collection, so recordings of people talking about them arriving in Cheetham. So they arrived in the late 30s, if they were lucky enough to get out before the war started, from Germany, from Austria, from Eastern Europe, or they arrived post the Holocaust in 1945. So we've been using those stories to inspire us to write songs together, and those will be the first initial performance of those fledgling songs is going to be on Monday at Manchester Central Library. So it's just a different way of thinking about the Holocaust, and Aaron has been part of the music group that's been writing the songs with us.
So what's the experience been like for you, Aaron?
So I'm not originally from Cheetham Hill, but I'm aware of the incredible history Cheetham Hill has with the Jewish community. I also live kind of in the heart of the Jewish community, but I don't understand and don't know other than what I've been taught at school. So to kind of come in and learn so much, but not from a textbook, from real stories and from real people, it's been an incredibly eye-opening experience, to be quite honest.
I think that's what's so important about the museum though, isn't it? It's all very well having these textbooks that you kind of have to learn, but actually being able to go to the museum and, you know, there's hand-on artefacts that you can go and...
So you can actually hear these people's voices on these recordings, which is quite powerful. But we also have objects that they brought with them to Cheetham. So there's one woman that we've written a song about who brings a record player with her to Cheetham from Austria because music was so important for her. She brought like a china cabinet and other things as well. But being able to see those objects and kind of touch them almost again. It's really powerful. So that's what we're hoping our audience will have that experience with us.
And what style is the songs that you've been creating then, Aaron?
We have quite an eclectic group.
Yeah.
And it's such a good collaborative effort that some of the songs have gone, kind of looked at all sorts of different genres. So we've got a song that's quite bluesy.
Yeah.
We've got a song that's quite, it's got quite a bit of like Austrian influence because one of the stories kind of came from a lady from Austria. But it's been quite a well-rounded and quite eclectic taste of music. Nice, easy listening though. Nothing too out there and daring.
And people will be able to hear this, like you say, on Monday.
On Monday at 4:00 in the music library, which is on the first floor of the Central Library. So we'll be moving around the space and doing different songs. The audience will follow us to hear different songs in the space.
I do believe I'm going to go along to this. It seems
quite... I think it's incredible. I think it's really, really important, and it's great what you're doing. So carry on, and we look forward to hearing that music.
Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for today on Your Manchester, but do join us next week when we've got lots of things planned.
Indeed, we're going to be looking at things you can do for under a tenner here in Manchester.
Great, because we're coming to the end of the month and we're all a bit kind of like low in the pocket.
It is very true. We've got plenty of special guests, so make sure you click and subscribe, and we'll see you all again next week on Your Manchester.